The copper bulb, new to Minecraft, it's an amazing light source, but it is also an absolutely amazing redstone device. Today, we are going to be taking a look at how the copper bulb can be used as a T flip-flop. We've probably seen, yeah, it can be used as a T flip-flop, but I kind of want to go into the details of exactly how this block works, how it is going to revolutionize everything, and how it's going to make all of our lives better. And hopefully you can use something in this video in your world. So let's quickly talk about why T flip-flop is awesome. Okay, here we go. We got a button and we got a lever. It doesn't get any more simple than that. So button, obviously when you push it, it will send out a redstone signal for a temporary amount of time. You can see this redstone right here. It only lasts for a little while. Where the lever, when you switch it, it just turns on and stays on, and you switch it again and it turns off and stays off. But what if we need the functionality of a button where it is only going to send a temporary source of redstone, but the output of that needs to act like a lever, where every time you hit the button one time, it will turn on the redstone signal and keep it on. And then the next time you hit the button, it would turn off the redstone signal and leave it off. That is what a T flip-flop does, which is our third example right here. So you hit the button, and it will stay on. The piston stays extended. It will stay like this the entire time. You hit the button another time, a second time, and it turns off. It's basically a button that works like a lever, but it's a button, and you have to hit it twice in order to turn it on and off. I think you understand my point. These are required in a few different type of redstone mechanics. Sometimes you absolutely need a T flip-flop. The output of whatever redstone device you're making is only send out a pulse, but you need it to act like it is a switch. So we've had these redstone builds in Minecraft for a while. There's lots and lots of different versions of T flip-flops. So let me show you a few of them. This is a T flip-flop, and as you can see, I hit the button and it turns on this tower of redstone lamps. I hit it again and it turns off the tower of redstone lamps, and this will work over and over and over again. How this is working is it uses 3 droppers in a situation where one dropper feeds into this dropper, it feeds into the next dropper, which feeds into a hopper, so it goes all the way around. There's one item that will live in here depending on where it is in the line. So in this case, I'll hit the button. It'll power all 3 droppers actually, because this one gets powered and the other 2 get auxiliary powered. And so this will fire into the dropper, which puts it into here, which the comparator can tell that there is an item in there, and that will send it to the redstone tower. So that's what's happening there. Now we have this little piece of redstone inside of that dropper. When we click it again, it's actually going to fire all of those droppers in line. So it's not in here, it's not in here, it's now way up here getting ready. But more importantly, it turned off the comparator, which turned off our redstone lamp tower. So that's how that T flip-flop works. Then we have another version of a T flip-flop. This one's really, really old school. And how this one works is it actually uses pistons and these torches here, and you power from the top, and that turns off both torches at the same time and allows the pistons to fire, which physically moves a redstone block from one spot to another. But we get the exact same behavior every time you hit the button. The button will move a contraption, and that will turn on and off the redstone lamp, just like the one before it. But now let's show the new modern option of T flip-flops with this redstone lamp. You hit the button, and the redstone tower, I guess it's a copper bulb, I should say, the redstone lamp tower, that will power on. And as you can see, it works perfectly. But I just want to point out how incredibly fast the new option is, okay? So I have this button. It's hooked up to every single T flip-flop. If I hit the button, you'll notice this lamp will go first, this lamp will go second, and this one will go third. As you can see, there is a huge time difference between the 3 T flip-flop designs, and by far the fastest option is the brand new copper bulb. So we absolutely love that. Some of these legacy designs, they're kind of fun to look at now, but that is hopefully all they're good for. So let's talk about how simple the new T FlipFlop can be, and also I want to get you thinking about how you can practically use this in your world, right? One of the nice things about the lever is that it is simple, it's small, and it doesn't take up a lot of space. And this new T FlipFlop, what is nice is that it really only takes up 2 blocks of space. I want to demonstrate something for you. If I grab some wool here and we go over to these legacy options, right? In this situation, this is actually taking up like 5 blocks of space. You got all of the droppers, you got the hopper, and you have the comparator as an output. That is 5 blocks. Over here, if we destroy that, this is, I think, actually 8 blocks of space. Let's count. We got the piston. We have the piston head that's extended. The redstone, of course, the torches and those blocks. That takes up space. Yeah, that's 8. Except we actually have these 2 redstone dust here. That takes up 2 more blocks of space. So you actually have 10 blocks of space that's being taken up, where this new design only takes up 2. You just got the copper bulb and the comparator that is comparing it. So just in that is absolutely awesome that our redstone builds can be a lot smaller. I also want to point out that you can either power, let's say in this situation, right? I just didn't want a lever. Like anytime that you have a lever and you don't want to use a lever, you can now use a T FlipFlop instead of using the lever. So let's say we don't want to use a lever, we want to use a T FlipFlop. It can be as simple as just adding a button onto the copper bulb and comparing the output, and then you get the exact same use as a lever. But I want you to think about this in terms of how you could include this in a build. You don't need to have this bright light emitting block out where everyone can see. You don't have to use it as your output. You can hide it if you want, and so if you needed to, of course, you could hide it behind a wall, and you could use a button that would activate the copper bulb, and you can hide the copper bulb if you don't need it as an element in your build. So I want to keep that in mind, that if you need to, like even in this situation, this could be a wall right here, and I could use this button right here to power the copper bulb from the other side, and then you would never know you were using a copper bulb in your build, which is just honestly awesome. Okay, so let's talk about another practical use. So obviously there's the practical use of any time that there is a switch and you don't want it to be a lever and you want it to be a button. Okay, practically you can always just use this to fix it. But sometimes in redstone contraptions, a copper bulb is required to get the correct output. And what comes to mind is when I was using calibrated skulk sensors, I had this really, really cool hidden door design. And the only problem was that the output of that was a pulse. So if I grab a redstone lamp here, and I'm gonna just remove the copper bulb for a second and replace these 2 things. And what was happening was I wanted it to detect something that the player did. And I encourage you to go back and look at the calibrated skulk sensor video because it's absolutely awesome. And so this calibrated skulk sensor will go off when a player consumes something. And I like to use honey as the thing that you consume just because you can eat it even if you're full. So I'm gonna eat this honey. The calibrated skulk sensor will notice that I ate it, and then it will send out a pulse. And I wanted to use this to open up a door. But the problem is if I set it up this way right now, the way that it's set up, it's gonna open up the door for like a half second, right? I'm not gonna have nearly enough time to run through that door. Like that door opens way too short of an amount of time. I want to be able to consume something and have the door stay open. And that is where the copper bulb comes into play. All we have to do is take the output of this, which is currently a pulse, and we will replace it with the copper bulb and then a comparator, and noticing what state that copper bulb is in. And then we're just got our redstone, which we need just to activate the door. So now when we eat the honey, it'll still send that same pulse, but it'll turn on the bulb, leaving the door open. And when I eat again, it will leave it closed. And this is a very nice practical use of how you can turn a pulse into a switch, basically, and use it in your builds, which is honestly so cool. I love that a T FlipFlop be contained in just such a small, teeny, tiny little area. It is perfect. That really wraps it up for this video. I didn't show off a ton of practical uses, but I think as long as you're thinking in your head, a switch can become a button, or a button can be used as a switch. Now with the copper bulb and a comparator comparing whatever state it is in, that can be used all over your world, all over your builds. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found something useful. Leave this video a like. If you learned something, leave a comment down below, letting me know your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!